Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build. For today's speed build, I am particularly excited because this is my very first Christmas build of the season and I couldn't be more excited. I just love Christmas builds so much. I love Christmas so much in general. We actually literally put up our Christmas tree just yesterday, so I'm all in the Christmas spirits and I'm just so excited to be sharing this with you. I actually did start this build a little early because obviously it took me a few sittings to build this. I was building this over on stream. I think it took me like 3 or 2.5 sittings actually to build this one. So I started it like early last week, which was maybe a little bit early. That was definitely before we had our own Christmas tree up, but I am just so excited and I couldn't wait any longer. And I had this idea for a build where it's not like super like refreshing and super new or anything, but I had this vision of a like Hallmark movie inspired farmhouse in Henford-on-Bagley. I thought that would be so fun. So this is not based on like an actual Hallmark Christmas movie or anything, but I just really wanted to build something that looked like you could actually use it for like a set of a Hallmark Christmas tree farm kind of movie, you know what I mean? So that's what I was going for with this one, and I think I succeeded. I absolutely love how this one came together. It is going to be a pretty large house, and I thought it would be so fun and fitting to actually furnish it for multiple generations. So it's a multi-generation family home with, I think it has 5 bedrooms total actually, which is really nice. It's quite spacious in general. It has 5 bedrooms total, one being a bedroom with an ensuite downstairs. I was thinking for like a grandparent or something, or grandparents plural, obviously. And then we have 4 more bedrooms upstairs, and I furnished those for 2 parents. We have a teenager, a nursery for an infant, and then a kid's bedroom as well. And I was definitely thinking that these Sims would have at least 1 dog, maybe a couple of cats, but you know, there's only so many spots in the household. And then I also had space here for 2 horses, because we actually have a barn here too, with like an enclosure like kind of attached to it, and then 2 horse stables. So there's space for 2 horses total. Obviously you can put in like chickens if you want to, maybe some mini sheep or goats or something like that. I think that would just be so cute to have those little animals just hopping around. When I was taking the screenshots, there were actually a lot of like foxes showing up as well, which I thought was so cute and just the perfect vibe. I could totally see like all the animals just kind of hopping around, wandering around here on this lot. I thought that would be so cozy. So yeah, obviously I had to go with all the Christmas colors. This barn is going to be bright red, so I used a lot of red and white actually for the exterior of this house in general. I was working off of a reference picture for a farmhouse that I found on Pinterest. I thought that was such a beautiful like picture of a house, and so I used that for reference. It didn't really end up looking exactly like it, but I thought it was just the perfect exterior for a Hallmark movie kind of farmhouse. And now that I built this, I kind of am so excited to do like a mini Let's Play of like a couple of episodes for like a Christmassy Let's Play. I think that would be so fun. And now that I'm thinking about that, like I would really have to get started on that immediately. So no promises there, but I'm just kind of sitting here looking at this build, looking at this footage. I was taking the screenshots. I was like, I think that would just be so cute. So I think I'm gonna try to like write up a story, like just like a mini story for a farmhouse Christmassy kind of Let's Play kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure. Don't hold me to this, but you know, my creativity is just kind of working on overdrive, and I'm like kind of thinking about all these cozy things that I could do that are Christmas related. So if that is something you would be interested in, like a mini Christmas Let's Play, let me know in the comments down below. If there's anything else Christmas related that you would like to see, be it Christmassy builds in The Sims, or maybe Christmassy cozy games, just like other games that you would be interested in watching me play here on the channel, because I am obviously diversifying a little bit here. I actually found this really cute game on Steam. I'm forgetting what it's called and I should have looked it up, but I'm just now thinking about it. But I think it's something Lights in the Town or putting up I'm not exactly sure what the title of this is, but the gist of the game is that you are playing as a little baby otter and you're decorating a town with Christmas lights. That is just like the gist of that game, and I couldn't be more excited. I think it released like a couple of days ago, so that is definitely something I want to play. So yeah, that being said, if there are any other cozy games, Christmassy games that you would like for me to try out, especially during the holiday season, or if there's anything else in The Sims that you want to see me do that is Christmas related, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. But yeah, you can really see the exterior of this house come together, and no worries, there's gonna be snow soon, because obviously for decorating the exterior and like doing the landscaping, I needed there to be snow, okay? We needed to have the perfect Christmas vibes for this, and obviously that meant that I had to make it snowy. I did go in, I didn't record this, but I did go in later without snow and like actually added some terrain paint and everything. So if you're gonna use this house in your game and it's not snowing, then at least you would still also have some terrain paint to look at, and it wouldn't be like super just like green and random and like super bare looking. So I did make sure to do that as well to kind of tie everything together. I wasn't gonna do that at first because I was just so excited about the snow, and then I was like, no, I simply cannot. I cannot just upload this build without any terrain paint done. That being said, I don't know if the game actually like yeeted the terrain paint or not later on, because it does like to do that where it just randomly deletes it on you. I don't think so, but honestly, it's gonna be a surprise when you put it in your game. There are gonna be some like random snow piles around, because I also just placed some debug like snow piles and things from Snowy Escape to make it feel like, just make it look like it has a little bit more depth to it, if that makes sense. So that is what I did, but yeah, all of that to say that I think without snow, it looks pretty cute as well. I'm just really excited about this build. And obviously all the landscaping is just gonna be a little bare because it is winter time, it's snowy, the trees don't have leaves anymore. I did check it in just the regular build, like summer mode as well, just to see if there weren't any trees like peeking through the house once it's summer and the leaves are back and everything. And that should all be fine. So yeah, I did make sure to actually just kind of like see if this also works without snow, and I think it does. But obviously with snow, it's just so much better. It is just so cozy. And for this farm in general, I just had in mind that it could be a little Christmas tree farm, or at least, you know, that could be their side hustle. So they have this really small, well, it's not really small, but it's not really big either, this little patch with different types of Christmas trees. I thought that would be so fun. So people can come here and purchase their trees and, you know, just get their fresh trees from the Christmas tree farm. I think that would just be so cozy. I personally have never really been to a Christmas tree farm before. We just get our trees at the garden center. I feel like that is the most common thing to do here in the Netherlands. I'm sure Christmas tree farms exist, but I also remember when I was in the States, this is a very long time ago, but when I was in the States, I was there for like an exchange year in high school, and I was staying with a guest family. I'm not sure what the right term for that is. But I remember that we actually went up into the mountains and got our own Christmas tree from the mountains, and that was so cool to me. Like, it was a whole trip. And we went there and we got our own tree, and I don't know, it was just really cool. But that kind of thing obviously doesn't exist in the Netherlands because we don't have any mountains here. And I'm sure there's Christmas tree farms, but I feel like the most common thing to do is to just get it from the garden center. These days we have a fake Christmas tree because, you know, it's just a little bit more sustainable and a little bit cheaper as well. So yeah, we do have a fake one now, but yeah, the real Christmas trees, you just can't beat it. They smell so good, you know, it's just really nice. But yeah, I was kind of thinking that the people living in this farm have a little side hustle of Christmas tree farming, Christmas tree selling, you know what I mean. I also placed a little market table out front with a chair to kind of make it look like that's where you would like go to pay for the tree, and the person that helps you just kind of like is stationed right there or something like that. It's not super official and formal, it's just kind of a thing that these people run from home, you know what I mean? I thought that was so cute. And then here I was actually tooling some Christmas trees in the backs of these trucks. I thought that was super cute as well. It's not perfect because obviously those trees from Seasons have a lot of like boxes and things under it. So those kind of tool and rotate with it. So I kind of tried to hide that by placing other boxes and crates and things in the back of the truck. I think it worked out just fine, but it's obviously not perfect, but I think it looks really, really cute. And I actually actually placed one in the other truck as well, but I didn't record that because it was just a little bit of the same footage, a little bit too repetitive. And then I came across this snow shovel that I obviously had to tool up against this market table. I thought that was so fun. And I just had the best time decorating this house for Christmas. I actually had my playtester sim come in and decorate the house with lights and everything. You'll see that in a bit when the lights just kind of magically appear around the eaves and the trims and everything, and it just looks so cozy. And then I also went in with some other decorations like red bows by the windows, that kind of stuff, and the garland and everything, and the wreaths, of course, by the windows. I don't know. I just think it looks so, so cozy. This is built on a 50 by 40 in the world of Henford on Bagley, so I didn't really have that much space to put anything else. So I don't really know what kind of farm this would be exactly. I mean, obviously they have horses and they have their little side hustle Christmas tree farm. But then what else? I was just kind of imagining that they would probably have like plots of land kind of like elsewhere here, like around the lot in Henford on Bagley, and that's whatever. I'm not sure what kind of thing they do for a living, but I feel like they would just have more land in general. But yeah, overall, I was just going for the Hallmark Christmas tree farm vibes, and I actually can't wait to kind of think of a storyline for Sims to kind of do a little let's play. I think that'd just be so cozy, like a little romance kind of thing, but obviously also like a family kind of thing, like a generational family kind of let's play. I think that would be really, really fun. I also had a lot of fun placing these hedges. Those were hedges, I think that came with the gameplay reward event last year around the holidays. It's a really cute hedge. You can't really see it that well because it's all snowed over, of course, but it has the little twinkly lights in it, and it looks so cozy in the dark. This farmhouse just looks super cozy in the dark. I really tried my best to light it up with cute fairy lights and obviously the lights around the fences and the trims and everything. Unfortunately, the lights that I placed, or that I had my sim place from the decoration boxes, they don't go around all the roof trims for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because some of the roof trims are a little bit too steep or something. I'm not exactly sure, but they only popped up on specific portions of the roof, which is a little bit upsetting, but it still looks really cute. I really like the little fairy lights around all the fences too. I think that just looks so, so cozy. And obviously I did have to go around and place a little bit of landscaping, not too much honestly, but I did do something where I just placed some grass patches and everything to just kind of make it blend together. And at some point I also realized, oh, we gotta have like a little hot cocoa stand here somewhere also. So in the Christmas tree patch, I just kind of got rid of a couple of Christmas trees and then I put in a hot cocoa little store kind of thing. That is so cute. I feel like that would just be such a cute little side hustle within the side hustle, you know, where some, like maybe the teenager of the family will run the little hot cocoa stand on the weekends and they make a little bit of extra money that way, or they just help out that way. I think that would be so fun. So the customers that come by their Christmas trees can also get some hot cocoa there. It's just adorable. I think in gameplay you can actually have your Sims be the vendor for those little shops. I'm not actually sure if that's true or if I'm just making that up, but that would be so fun also for gameplay if you could have someone from your active household actually be the vendor and make a little bit of money that way. I'm not sure, but I think that'd be so cute if that was an option. Also, I was kind of thinking of ways that you could maybe use this as a small business. And I'm not actually sure if that would work because obviously Sims wouldn't like pay for the trees. Then again, maybe you could set it up as a small business and you would just go with the ticket system where Sims just have to pay a little bit of money to hang out here, like hourly or maybe like a one-time fee or whatever, and then they can just hang out, maybe hang out with the horses, maybe have some hot cocoa, do winter activities like build snow pals, that kind of stuff. And then you can just kind of pretend that the money that you make is because Sims are buying Christmas trees or something. I think that would just be kind of fun to play it that way as well. I didn't really place any outdoor bathrooms for like a small business, but it's pretty easy to maybe place the outhouse that was also part of a game rewards event a few months ago. So yeah, that's also one that you could maybe very easily place. So here I was just kind of making it dark to see where I had to place some lights and things. I found these really beautiful street lamps in the debug menu, but they barely gave off any light. So I just kind of faked it by placing some little garden lights underneath them to just kind of make it look like it was lighting up the area a little bit more. But yeah, I feel like the decorating for this came together so easily. It took me a while because I placed a lot of decorations, but it was so much fun to do. And it's obviously those little seasonal decorations that you only really visit during the holiday season, because I personally don't do Christmas builds outside of the Christmas holiday season in real life. So every time I go and filter by all the seasons items and the holiday, the free holiday pack that came out years ago, it's just so much fun to come across all those pretty items. And, you know, it's just so nostalgic already because those packs like seasons and the holiday pack are really old at this point. So it almost kind of feels a little bit nostalgic to go and filter for them and use the little decorations, the little snow pals and the reindeer decorations and the garlands and the wreaths and all that kind of stuff. And obviously the Christmas trees as well. So that was just really fun to do. But I really wanted to go all out Christmas for the front porch of this house also. So I placed a couple of red benches and, you know, all those little decorations. And I wanted this to be a functional space too. So I decided to place a chess table here as well, just for a little bit of functionality to the front porch of the house. But yeah, all the white and red that I used for this house is so out of my comfort zone. And I've talked about this in a couple of speed builds, I feel, at this point, but the color red is definitely growing on me more. So I had so much fun just decorating this house and also using a lot of red details just on the exterior of the house in general. I placed a bright red, like white and red front door, and then also the base game windows with the red shutters. It was just something that years ago, or like up until last year or so, I would have never done. I would have gone for maybe like a green and white color scheme, maybe for a traditional Christmas house, but never really the red. So it was really fun to actually use that color here for this house now, and I think it turned out so fun, and this entire house is just super cozy. I will say that the main color scheme for this house does also have green. It's definitely your traditional red, green, and white, and then I combined it with like these orangey wood tones. That is just a little different, but I really wanted to add a lot of warmth to this house just in general, and I feel like that orangey wood tone really helps with that, so that was really fun. And it also feels a little bit outdated, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this to feel like a very nostalgic, older kind of Christmas house, or like house in general that is at the moment all decked out for Christmas. And I feel like that orangey wood tone, it's just so like 90s coded in a way. It could also be very mid-century coded if that is what you're going for, but for this one I feel like it feels very 90s coded. So that was really fun for me to do. And the wallpaper that I used for the majority of this house, for the main like living area and stuff, is from the Grange Mudroom kit, and I think it's so beautiful. That color green was just absolutely perfect. It looks so good paired with red. And then I did use a lot of mismatched green tones in here as well. As you can see, the fireplace and the color green on the chairs, it's just all a little different and it doesn't quite match, and it definitely doesn't match the wallpaper. And at first I was like, ugh, can I get away with that? Is that too much? Is that like just ugly looking? And then it started to kind of grow on me, because this is one of those houses that has been in the family for a very long time. So they have a lot of different furniture pieces and things like that that they have kind of collected throughout the years, and it kind of makes sense that not everything is going to match each other, you know what I mean? So that's exactly the vibe that I was going for. Very nostalgic, very 90s kind of, you know, collected furniture pieces, outdated wood tones, that kind of stuff, and I was having so much fun with this. I also never use this fireplace, which I believe is either from Seasons or from the free holiday pack. I can never remember what item, like what holiday related item is from which pack when it comes to that. But I never in a million years otherwise would have used that fireplace, because I do think it's kind of ugly in a way. But for this house, it was the perfect kind of ugly, where it just feels nostalgic and outdated, you know? So that was perfect with the white bows on it and the garland, and the wood tone was perfect for this house too, which is what sold me on it for using it in this house. So that was really fun. And then I also knew that that fireplace actually comes with a matching dining table, and I obviously couldn't not use it. So I placed that table. It is kind of horrendous in a way, but again, kind of in the right way. And it also matches the fireplace, so that's how it all ties together, I feel. And I do think it looks really cute with these dining chairs from the Cats and Dogs expansion. I really like that one with the, again, the matching wood tone, but then the white cushions to kind of brighten everything up a little bit and just kind of to add in some of that white, like as a neutral. I thought that was perfect. And I just really like how this formal dining area came together. I could totally see the family come together here for Christmas dinner, Christmas breakfast, you know. It was just, in my brain, that was just so cozy. So yeah, and then I had the space for a couple of bookshelves back there as well, which I think looks really good. And then of course we have the Christmas tree. I used one of those seasons Christmas trees that your Sims actually have to go in and decorate themselves. I did do that when I was playtesting this build. Obviously I wanted this tree to be fully decorated. So I had my Sim go in and decorate the tree. And then I just placed a bunch of presents under it, and I also always really like to just put some toys, not just the wrapped presents from the game, but also just a couple of toys. So I placed a Blarfy in the corner and then a children's bike. I thought that would be cute, like maybe that's a cute little Christmas present. Obviously it isn't wrapped, so the kid would have already seen it, but maybe they have to wait to use it until Christmas time because it is like a Christmas present, something like that. I thought that would be really, really cute. But when I give you a tour of this house after the speed build, you'll see that I fully decorated, or I had my Sim, Hagrid actually, fully decorate the Christmas tree, and it looks all cozy. For some reason, the Christmas tree little skirt underneath it isn't showing, but that's maybe because I placed it in a way with move objects where I just put a bunch of presents and stuff under it. So maybe that's just not working properly, but I feel like it looks fine. You could always add a little round rug or something under it if it bothers you, but I feel like it just, it looks just fine. And then here in the corner, I went for an old piano. I thought that would be so cool, like an heirloom kind of piece that's been in the family for generations and generations on end, like a really cool, very old looking piano from the Horse Ranch pack. I thought that would be absolutely perfect in this house. Floor plan wise, by the way, I didn't really talk about that, and I also didn't leave it in the speed build because it was such messy footage, and I was just kind of changing my mind and like doing it again and like deleting and putting walls back, and it was just a whole like messy process that I couldn't really make sense of. But the floor plan is pretty self-explanatory, actually. I just, we have an entryway when you first walk into the door where we have just like a hallway with a staircase and then also a door into the half bath slash laundry. And then we have an archway into the open dining living room that you could just see. And then we have a closed off kitchen here off of the living and dining area. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And then on the other side of the house is where we have a bedroom with an ensuite as well. And that one I thought was going to be for the grandparent. And then upstairs, we just have 5 bedrooms and 1 hall bath. So there aren't a lot of bathrooms in this house. In total, there's 3, or actually 2.5, because the hall bath downstairs is only a half bath. So the entire family, I feel like, with the exception of the grandparents because they have an ensuite, but the rest of the family just have to share like a shower, you know, like it's gonna be a little messy, but I feel like that makes sense for an older farmhouse like that, like this, that they don't have a bunch of just like bathrooms everywhere, you know? So that was kind of fun. And I feel like really adds to the experience that is this generational farm. I feel like that was just definitely the vibes. But for the family that lives here, so I was kind of like trying to solve this puzzle in my brain, right? Because we only have 8 spots in the household and I wanted there to be animals too, but also multiple generations. So we landed on 1 grandparent. We had to sacrifice actually 1 grandparent because we wanted a horse and a dog in this household as well. So we were like, okay, we'll sacrifice grandma. We'll just have 1 grandparent here. So we'll have grandpa here. And then we have 2 parents, 2 adult parents, and then 1 teenager, 1 toddler, and 1 kid. So that's already 6. And then I wanted a dog and at least 1 horse. We do actually have 2 horse stables, but we just simply don't have any more space. Or we got to sacrifice a parent, you know, or a kid. That's obviously an option as well. But I did decorate the bedrooms for 3 kids. So I guess that's what we're going for. And then 1 grandparent. And then at the moment, 1 horse. But maybe that'll change in the future. Like, obviously, if you play with cheats or MC Command Center, you can obviously make it so that There's more space in the household, which is very useful for situations like this, but I also feel like it's kind of fair to have like 6 Sims. 6 Sims, 2 animals, I feel like that's fair and kind of fun to play with and not too overwhelming. But I could totally see the cozy gameplay here of the grandparent being involved as well, and we were kind of thinking that we just had Grandpa here, and Grandpa loves to bake. So you can kind of see here in the kitchen that there has been some baking going on. We have a lot of baked goodies here on the breakfast table as well. There's a lot of there's some fresh loaves here in the kitchen as well, some fresh baked goodies, you know, all that kind of stuff. So Grandpa loves to bake, and I feel like maybe they sell their freshly baked goods in the little hot chocolate stand outside by the Christmas trees. I think that would just be so fun. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you could obviously also swap out the hot cocoa stand for that food market table kind of thing from Home Chef Hustle, and then you can actually bake things and sell them there on the table. That's actually really cute as well. So I might actually, if I'm gonna do gameplay with this house, I might actually see if I end up doing that maybe. I think that would be really cozy. And then obviously we have 2 parents. For the rest, we didn't really think of any specific personalities for this house except for the teenager. The teenager is the one that is into horses the most, so I feel like they do the horse riding here and they take care of the horse. For the most part, it is their horse, so that's kind of what we were thinking. And then we just have an infant, and the infant is just like being a little infant, you know, and then we have a kid that is just into, I feel like, anything. Also into bugs. I did place a little caterpillar incubator kind of thing in their bedroom as well, and then they just have a bunch of toys in there. So I feel like this family in general is just very outdoorsy. They do live on a farm. I feel like they would all just really enjoy the outdoors and spend a lot of time in nature, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I had in mind for these Sims in general. So downstairs here, like I mentioned, we have 1 bedroom with an ensuite, and this is going to be Grandpa's room. And I will be changing up the color scheme here a little bit more shortly because it was just a little bit too cool toned in my experience. I didn't really like it that much, so I decided to continue the green wallpaper, but this one has the baseboards added onto it, so I used that in here. And then I paired it with this really beautiful yellow color that you can kind of see in the curtains, which matches the bedding because the bedding has a really subtle yellow stripe in the pattern, which was absolutely perfect. So that's what I matched the curtains to. I thought that was a really fun color scheme. Not very Christmassy, but I feel like that's realistic. Like, not everything in this house has to be fully Christmas because there are also seasons in the year where it's not Christmas, you know? But I do feel like these people thrive in the Christmas time. They just absolutely adore it. Grandpa's bedroom also has a little office space. So I just placed a desk, and this is where I ended up placing a computer. We don't really have a dedicated office anywhere else in this house because I did use all the rooms for bedrooms. But if you end up using this house and you don't have as many kids or something, or as many Sims in the house, then there's definitely space because we have a bunch of bedrooms upstairs also. So there's definitely space for just like a dedicated office. But like I said, I feel like the people in this house, they just are outside all the time and they spend a lot of time outside. So they don't really are on the computer that much. But I will say that maybe Grandpa, I was kind of thinking maybe Grandpa runs a baking side hustle also online. Like maybe he sells things online. Maybe he has some kind of Etsy shop or whatever where he sells his baked goods. I'm not exactly sure, but maybe you can order like custom cookies from there or whatever. I was kind of thinking something along those lines. And then Grandpa also has his own ensuite, obviously, and I love this red color scheme for the bathrooms. That is so out of my comfort zone. I have literally never used these red tiles before. They're both base game. I believe these are the matching set of the red wallpaper tiles and the red floor tiles. I don't think I've ever used them, at least not together. And I just have never done an all red and white bathroom before, but I did it for all the bathrooms in this house, and I think it's so fun and definitely very Christmas coded. It matches the exterior of this house perfectly, so it was just really fun for me to do. But then here downstairs, we also have a half bath slash laundry, which again, I did this in one of my houses that I uploaded last week as well. I just created this half bath slash laundry in a way where you can very easily swap out the laundry machines for a shower, for example, if you wanted that. If you don't want to play with laundry, or if you just feel like you need more showers in this house, then you can definitely just swap it out very easily. It's super easy to do. And just make sure you delete the hampers, I think, as well, and then you're all set. So after that laundry space, we're moving on to the exterior, and what was kind of cute is that the lights that I placed around the roof trims showed up on the inside of my house here where I deleted the ceiling for the staircase, and I wasn't mad about it. It just looks like they decorated the inside of the house with some lights like by the staircase. It was absolutely perfect. So if you do delete the decorations on this house, then obviously they're not there anymore, but it just looks super cute to have those little lights on the interior of the house as well, especially here by the open staircase moment. It's so cute, and definitely a place where in reality you would probably put up some lights if you could reach it. You know, I think that would just be so fun. But yeah, upstairs on the landing, I just placed a couple of knickknacks. We have some storage, some bookshelves, you know, that kind of stuff, a light, a chair in the corner, just your everyday like landing items, I guess. And then the first bedroom that we're doing here is going to be for the parents. This one is also kind of red and green, so really matches the color scheme of the house in that sense, which I always like to do for parents' bedrooms, because I feel like most of the time, I mean, for this house, maybe it's a little different since it has been in the family for so long. But I could totally see the parents having picked out the majority of the colors for the house in general, so it would make sense that that kind of matches to, or that their bedroom matches that, you know what I mean? I feel like that makes some sort of sense anyway. And then the kids' bedrooms are going to be a little different, obviously. So the second bedroom that we're doing is for the teenager, and I was struggling with this color scheme for a bit. But I did manage to figure it out because I was set on using this wallpaper from the from the Adventure Awaits expansion pack. I just thought that that was such a good wallpaper, and I adore this color. I think it's so beautiful. And I really like how that wood trim actually matches the color of the floor so perfectly. So I really wanted to use this older looking wallpaper here that has been in this room for so long, I was thinking. So it's really old wallpaper, but then I still wanted to make this a fun and colorful and kind of youthful looking bedroom because it is for a teenager. So I decided to combine this orangey, red, yellow kind of situation with blue, and that was really fun. I just love the color blue on those Horse Ranch furniture items, so I had to go for that in here, and I think it looks super, super cozy. So that's what I ended up going for, and I think it just is the best color scheme I could have gone for in here, especially also kind of paired with those curtains. I've never done this color scheme or this combination of colors before, I don't think, but I think it looks super fun. It doesn't really match anything else, and I feel like this room looks a little bit more rustic compared to the other rooms in this house, but I feel like it just is a really good room, especially for a horse lover. You know, I feel like this kind of style would just make sense for them, and I kind of tried to reflect that by placing that little Horse Ranch painting by their bed, and then they also have like a little poster by the desk, and we were also thinking that this teenager could be into music, so we gave them a little guitar, and I also put a little radio on their desk. I thought that was cute, but for the rest, this is just your everyday teens room. I feel I was definitely using a lot of clutter items from the high school years expansion pack. That made sense in here, I felt. And I also gave them their own laptop because, you know, they are in high school. Maybe they do need to have a laptop for like their homework or studying from time to time. I felt like that makes sense. And then maybe they play some games on their laptop sometimes. Maybe they're kind of into that as well. But I really liked how spacious this room ended up being. I thought it was going to be very small and cramped, but I decided to go for a single bed. So that definitely saved me a lot of space. So I had a little bit of extra space for clutter and just items to kind of, you know, try to kind of form a personality for the sim that's using this room, but I really like it. We have some storage here by the end of the bed as well, by the door. I thought that was cute, and I also had to give them a robe, of course, and I also did not forget to place a hamper in the bedroom actually, which was kind of nice. So I did that too. And then over here on the other side, we have a room for the kid. This one's so nice and colorful. I had a blast using this wallpaper from the Cottage Living pack. It's just so fun, especially in this color, and it brings back some of that green that we're using throughout the house. It also brings back some of that blue because downstairs we do have a little bit of blue going on as well for like a pop of like a different color, I guess, downstairs. So it was kind of fun to bring that back here in this room. And yeah, I just went with a lofted bed for this room because it is a little smaller, and kids, obviously you want to give them some toys, which takes a lot of space. So I gave them a lofted bed with a desk under it where I put the paper craft item and also a imaginary friend. They have a doll house, a creativity table, caterpillar incubator, a toy box and also a Blarfy, and then also a bookshelf in their bedroom. So there's a bunch of activities here for this kid. And then outside, we don't really have a lot of playground equipment or anything, but we do have a swing set. So I feel like that's perfect for the kid. They can just kind of run around outside. I feel like maybe play with the animals, that kind of stuff. Maybe they love to help out at the Christmas tree selling area as well from time to time. Or maybe they enjoy baking with their grandpa and like selling the baked goods. I thought that would be pretty cute for them as well. And then over here we have the nursery, and I used that same wallpaper from the cottage living pack in here, but in a different pattern and a different colorway. And this brings back that red and green again. I just love this wallpaper so much. It is so cute, and it was the perfect opportunity to use it in these colorways as well. It just really worked with this house. And then here I decided to combine it with that yellow again that I used in the grandpa's bedroom as well, because there's just the slightest little detail of yellow in this wallpaper. So I was so happy to see that, so I could get away with that same swatch for the curtains, because it just looks so cute and colorful. And the nursery, I feel like it's just super cozy and kind of simple, but you know, I feel like it's gonna work as a nursery just fine. And then upstairs here we have a full bathroom for everyone to share, and I had to go with that white and red color scheme again, obviously. So yeah, we just have some counter space in here, a shower tub combo, a little sink with some extra storage space as well. It's just a very basic little bathroom, but I like how spacious it is. It's a little bit more spacious than my bathrooms usually are. So I have the space for like a nice dresser, which is where I figured they would store their towels and their refills for like products and everything. So yeah, and then after that, we are moving on to the back porch, which is very simply decorated. I just placed some flower boxes over there so you can do some gardening. We have a seating area and then also a picnic bench with a couple of beautiful like little lanterns, little lights, and then some outdoor bins. But then that's it for this build. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the Christmas farmhouse in the game, and it's snowing a little bit right now, and doesn't it just look like a dream? I think this is so much fun, especially with the snow falling. I don't know, it is just so cozy. I also do realize I didn't include the interior of the barn in the speed build because it was already so long, but it's very simple. So just let me show you that in here we have some space for the horses, 2 horse stables total, and then just some storage here as well. There isn't really anything to do in here other than, you know, the horses just kind of live here. We have some hay storage and everything, but if you wanted to add some more activities in here, I feel like you could definitely do that because there's definitely some space in here. And then it's open to this area for the horses to play. We have a ball for them to play with, and then this barrel thingy as well that you can actually use for horse riding, obviously. So that's the barn. Outside we just have a couple of trucks parked, and then this outside Christmas tree as well with some lights. The little market table here by the Christmas tree. This is also where we have the seasonal mailbox. I really like this swatch. And then some picnic benches with some hot cocoa trays. And then over here is the Christmas tree area where Sims can just kind of come and cut down their own tree is what I was thinking. We have some taller ones, some really small ones. I think it's just so cute. In the back here, by the way, is where we have a swing set. It's kind of hidden away, but I thought this was the perfect little area for the kid to play, maybe. And then, of course, the decorated house itself. I love these bows on the columns. I think that looks so cute. And then the porch is definitely very decorated. We have a couple of red benches here, and then just a bunch of wreaths as well, and some garland. Loving the seasonal welcome mat. And there's a fully decorated Christmas tree out here, obviously, also. Then when we go inside, don't be alarmed, we do have Hagrid sitting in the hallway right now. He can just sit there if he wants to. The floor plan's very simple. We just have an entryway, living room, kitchen, bedroom, very self-explanatory. But in the hallway, right when you come in, it's already nice and decorated here as well. And then we just have some storage. Obviously, I had to have these decoration boxes on hand, so I placed those in the hallway too. Off to the left is where we have that half bath slash laundry space. Very easily customizable, and like you can swap out this for a shower if you wanted to. But I thought laundry was fun and realistic for a family home like this. And then in here we have the living room. I don't know, I just feel like it's so cozy. The colors are a little bit all over the place, but it works for this house in some way. We have that beautiful fireplace that's fully decorated, red curtains, and then back here we have the Christmas tree with a bunch of presents, and it is now fully decorated. I had Hagrid come in and decorate this one. And then the dining room, of course. Through this door is where we have Grandpa's bedroom, which is nice and simple, actually. It's just a bed with 2 nightstands. The dog sleeps in here is what I was thinking, and Grandpa also has a little office nook over here as well, and then some storage on this side. Also an ensuite, which is my classic 6-tile bathroom with a shower tub combo, a sink, and a toilet. And then on the other side of the house is where we have the kitchen. And I really like how this kitchen came together. I feel like it feels so 90s coded with those counters and then the little green bows on the windows, a seasonal rug by the sink. I don't know. I just feel like it's so nostalgic. We have some clutter, some freshly baked loaves in here, some groceries. There's also a bowl for the dog, and I placed this home phone. I thought that was really cute. And then over here we have a breakfast nook as well, where you can see a lot of bacon has been going on. We have some freshly baked goods, some cookies that are ready to go in the oven. It just looks very used and cutesy to me. I really like this. Then going upstairs, we have 4 more bedrooms and 1 more bathroom. But first we have this landing, which is very simple and self-explanatory. Again, I really like actually how these lights showed up on the inside of the house. I think that looks super cozy. This room over here is gonna be for the parents. It's very red and green coated again, but I didn't really have a lot of space in here, so it just has the bare necessities and then some decorations. Next to the parents' room is where we have the full bath. I really like how this one's a little bit more spacious than the other ones, and it feels more like a family bathroom in that sense. Over here is the nursery. Love this one as well. The colors are just so fun and cheerful. There's definitely some storage in here as well. We have a play mat, a little rocking chair, and then isn't this the coziest little nook for the crib? I just really like it. Over here on this side is the teens room. This color scheme is a little different, but I really like it. I just love this wallpaper from Adventure Awaits. The texture on it is just simply chef's kiss. So yeah, they have their bed, a nightstand, a little area where they get to play the guitar, practice a little bit, a desk where they can work on their schoolwork, but also maybe play some games, and then some storage. A little bit of a mess on the floor that just always just adds so much character to a teen's room, I feel. And then some more storage over here by the door too. And last but not least, of course, we have the kids' bedroom, which there's a lot of things to do for the kid in here, actually. I wasn't sure if I was gonna fit this many items, but it just really did work out. We have the dollhouse, then they can do some paper crafts, they have an imaginary friend, a toy box, the Blarfy, and then they can even do some like drawing and stuff in here as well. So I do think this is a really good kids room. And then of course we also have the back porch here off of the living room where we can just hang out and enjoy the view and the snow. You know, I think that would be really cozy. And there's also a few planters out here if you wanted to do some gardening and not have it be affected by the weather and the seasons, then that's very useful. A picnic bench out here, and then some outdoor bins, of course. But that is it for this Christmas farmhouse. So this Christmas tree farmhouse is up on the gallery as a residential, of course. It comes in at just under 130,000 simoleons, so it's very expensive, but it is a really big multi-generation home, so I feel like that kind of makes sense. I built it on a 50 by 40 in the World of Henford on Bagley on the 3 Old Mill Lane lot, so if you want to place it in your game, then that's where it goes. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications if you want to get notified every time I upload. You can find me over on Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok if you would like. My username over there is Simmary Sims. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!